Did you know that clutter doesn't just make your house look messy? It can actually raise your blood pressure and stress levels. Studies have shown that for seniors especially, the weight of a messy home doesn't stop at the eyes, it presses on the mind and even the body. Think about it, every pile of magazines, every overloaded counter, every chair covered with clothes isn't just stuff. It's a daily reminder that drains your energy and keeps your brain on constant alert. And if you've ever woken up determined to finally clean, only to lose steam after 20 minutes, you're not alone. You start in the kitchen, then get distracted by the laundry. Before long, you're sitting down with a sore back, staring at the same mess, whispering to yourself, "Why does it feel like I didn't get anything done?" It's a frustration countless seniors know too well, the cycle of effort without results. But here's the good news, it doesn't have to be this way. One senior woman discovered that the key to cleaning a messy house wasn't working harder, it was working smarter. By using a handful of simple, senior-friendly methods, she was able to reclaim her home, her time, and her peace of mind faster than she thought possible. And in this video, I'll share exactly what she did, step by step. So before we dive in, hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed, because these tips could save you hours of wasted effort and finally give you the calm, welcoming home you deserve. Meet Eudora Mayfield, a 76-year-old retired choir pianist from a quiet town in North Carolina. For decades, her home was filled with the sound of hymns and laughter as she welcomed her choir friends for weekly tea. Eudora had a quirky tradition. She collected teacups from every city she visited, each one a little souvenir of joy. Over the years, though, her collection grew from charming to overwhelming. Every cabinet groaned under the weight of delicate porcelain, and her once tidy kitchen became crowded with cups she no longer even used. But the clutter didn't stop in the kitchen. Magazines piled up in the living room, extra blankets, and clothes filled closets, and soon, the house that once felt like her sanctuary began to feel more like a maze. After her arthritis worsened, even simple tasks like walking from one room to another left her aching and tired. Hosting her beloved tea group, something that used to light up her week, suddenly felt impossible. Ashamed of the mess, Eudora quietly stopped inviting her friends over, telling herself she was too tired, when deep down, embarrassment was the real reason. She confessed later that it wasn't just her house that felt crowded, it was her heart. Every corner reminded her of what she had lost, energy, confidence, and joy. But then came the turning point. One morning, after nearly knocking over a stack of teacups just trying to make coffee, she decided enough was enough. What she discovered next wasn't a marathon cleaning spree or some overwhelming system. Instead, it was a handful of simple, smart secrets that allowed her to reset her home, protect her body, and rediscover her joy. And today, I'm going to walk you through those exact secrets, step by step. Secret number 1. The doorway decision. When Eudora finally began her cleaning journey, she didn't start with the kitchen counters or the endless stacks of books on the coffee table. Instead, she discovered a small but powerful truth. The first place you clean should always be the doorway. Why? Because first impressions set the tone, not just for visitors, but for you. Think about it. Every time you walk into a room, the first few steps shape how you feel. If the doorway is blocked by shoes, mail, or clutter piled in the corner, you carry that heaviness with you into the rest of the space. But if the doorway is clear and inviting, your brain registers progress immediately, giving you the momentum to keep going. For Eudora, this was a breakthrough. She looked at her kitchen doorway, where bags of groceries she never fully unpacked and stacks of teacups waiting for a spot in the cabinet had been sitting for weeks. Instead of diving into the overwhelming cabinets, she spent just 10 minutes clearing the threshold. She swept away the dust, picked up the shoes, and wiped the little rug. Suddenly, when she stepped inside, the room didn't feel like a battlefield, it felt like a space she could handle. There's even a psychological reason behind this. Studies on habit formation show that small wins at entry points boost motivation and reduce decision fatigue. For seniors, that's vital. You don't want to spend your limited energy fighting the hardest spot first. You want to start with a visible, achievable victory. Eudora said it best. Once the doorway was clear, I felt like the room was already halfway clean. I wanted to keep going. That feeling carried her forward, zone by zone, without the crushing weight of thinking she had to do it all at once. Now, let me ask you, if someone walked through your front door right now, what's the very first thing they'd see? A neat entry that makes you feel calm? Or a pile that makes you sigh? Drop your answer in the comments. You may be surprised how many others share the same struggle. Because here's the truth. Cleaning fast doesn't mean starting big. It means starting where it counts. And for Eudora, the doorway decision was the spark that set everything else in motion. Secret number 2, the 10-item sweep. When Eudora stood in her living room surrounded by piles of books, stray mail, and teacups, the sight nearly froze her in place. Where do you even begin when the whole room feels overwhelming? That's when she invented her own game, the 10-item sweep. Instead of telling herself she had to clean the whole room, she gave herself just one rule: pick up 10 items only, no more, no less. Shoes, magazines, cups, even that lone sock hiding under the chair, each counted as one. The moment she finished 10, she stopped, smiled, and took a breath. Then, if she still had energy, she did another round. What made this so powerful was that it turned cleaning into a challenge instead of a burden. Seniors often give up when faced with too big a task, but by shrinking the goal to just 10, Eudora avoided exhaustion and tricked her brain into seeing progress. And progress is addictive. Every batch of 10 gave her a small burst of victory, and those victories stacked up quickly. She laughed later, saying, "I didn't clean a room, I won 10 little victories." That shift in language made all the difference. Instead of guilt for what wasn't done, she felt pride for what was. Experts call this microtasking, and it's proven to reduce procrastination and increase motivation. For seniors with limited stamina, it's even more helpful, because you never overcommit. You simply do what you can, 10 at a time. So here's my challenge for you. Look around right now and choose 10 items to move. Just 10. Then tell us in the comments what you tackled. You might inspire someone else to start their first sweep today. Eudora's 10-item sweeps became the backbone of her cleaning system. But soon, she realized another trick that made her house feel dramatically cleaner almost instantly, and it had nothing to do with how much she picked up. It had to do with where she focused first. Secret number 3. Clear surfaces first. The next breakthrough for Eudora came when she looked at her kitchen counters. Even after hours of moving things around, her home still looked messy. Why? Because every surface in sight was covered: stacks of mail on the dining table, half-used lotions on her nightstand, folded laundry on the couch. That's when she tried a new approach. Clear the surfaces first. Before worrying about floors or shelves, she focused on making the places her eyes landed most look open and calm. The kitchen counter, the dining table, the nightstand, those became her targets. And the result? Instant transformation. Even if the rest of the room wasn't spotless yet, the open surfaces gave her a sense of peace and accomplishment. Psychologists explain this too. Cluttered surfaces increase cognitive load, while clean, open spaces signal order to the brain. In other words, your home feels cleaner, even if you've only tackled a fraction of it. Eudora said, "The moment I saw my dining table cleared off, it was like my whole house took a deep breath." That small visual win gave her the energy to keep moving, even when arthritis slowed her down. Here's the beauty of this method: it's quick, it's visible, and it's motivating. For seniors, who may not have the stamina for deep scrubbing every day, focusing on surfaces first delivers the maximum impact for the least effort. So let me ask you, what's the one surface in your house that collects clutter the fastest? Is it the kitchen counter? The coffee table? Drop your answer in the comments. We all have that one spot. Clearing surfaces first gave Eudora the boost she needed to continue. And next, she discovered a way to save her energy even more, by cleaning smarter, not harder, from a seated position. That became her next secret. Secret number 4, sit and sort. By the time Eudora made it halfway through her cleaning day, her knees and back were already reminding her of their limits. She realized something important. Cleaning doesn't have to mean constant bending, lifting, and walking. It could be adapted to her body's needs. That's when she discovered what she later called her sit and sort method. Instead of dragging herself from one room to another, she gathered clutter into a large basket and carried it to her dining table. There, she sat down comfortably with a warm cushion behind her back and sorted everything right from her chair. Books in one pile, mail in another, dishes in a box for the kitchen, small trinkets in a donation bag. The clutter shrank before her eyes, and for the first time, cleaning didn't leave her in pain. This fresh angle changed everything. Seniors are often taught to push through until the job is done, but that mindset leads to sore joints and burnout. By shifting to a seated method, Eudora conserved her energy while still making big progress. She admitted, "I couldn't believe how much I got done while sitting down. For once, my body wasn't working against me." Research backs her up. Tasks done while seated help prevent falls, reduce strain, and keep energy levels steady. And the beauty of sit and sort is that it turns cleaning into something more approachable. Instead of seeing a mountain of mess, you're simply going through a basket, one item at a time, at your own pace. Eudora found joy in it, too. She kept a cup of tea beside her, played soft music, and treated the process like a calming ritual instead of a chore. Sorting became less about stress and more about creating order, comfortably and peacefully. So let me ask you, if you could sit and sort through one basket right now, what would be inside? Magazines? Mail? Maybe those just-in-case gadgets we all keep? Share it in the comments. Your answer might help another senior realize they're not alone. For Eudora, sit and sort wasn't just about saving her joints. It was about discovering that cleaning could adapt to her life, not the other way around. And with her new rhythm, she was ready for the next secret, turning chores into moments of joy through the power of music. Secret number 5. The Music Minute. For years, Eudora's home was filled with music. As a choir pianist, she lived for the harmonies of Sunday mornings and the sound of voices rising together. But as her home grew more cluttered, the music faded into silence. Cleaning in quiet made every second drag on like an hour. That's when she rediscovered something powerful. The rhythm of a song could carry her further than sheer willpower ever could. She called it her music minute. Instead of setting a timer or forcing herself to guess how long she could keep working, Eudora simply pressed play on one upbeat gospel song. She told herself, "I'll clean for as long as this song lasts, and when it ends, I stop." At first, it seemed too simple. But it worked like magic. For 3 minutes and 45 seconds, she dusted, folded, or cleared surfaces with purpose. The music gave her energy, and when the song ended, she took a guilt-free pause. No shame in stopping. No pressure to push past her limits. Just a natural rhythm of work and rest. The science backs her up. Studies show that music can regulate your pace, helping your body move steadily without strain. It also boosts dopamine, the brain's feel-good chemical, which lifts mood and reduces fatigue. That's why people walk farther, exercise longer, and even tolerate pain better when music is playing. For seniors, this is more than motivation, it's protection. It keeps the body moving without overdoing it. But for Eudora, it was more than science. It was emotional. Every gospel chorus reminded her of choir practice, of laughter with friends, of Sundays that once made her house feel alive. Cleaning didn't feel like a lonely chore anymore. It felt like she was dancing through her memories. She laughed as she dusted a shelf in rhythm with the tambourine and said, "I wasn't cleaning, I was praising." And here's what surprised her most. Even though she only worked through one song at a time, she got more done than she ever had before. The music minute tricked her brain into seeing cleaning not as hours of drudgery, but as a series of joyful sprints. One song turned into 2, sometimes 3, and before she knew it, an entire zone of her home was complete. So let me ask you, what's your song? What tune makes you tap your foot, sing along, or feel alive again? Drop it in the comments. We'd love to build a playlist inspired by seniors everywhere. Imagine the encouragement of knowing someone else is cleaning their home to the same rhythm as you. For Eudora, music was the bridge between her past joys and her present needs. It transformed her cleaning day into something uplifting, meaningful, and even fun. And with each song, her home got brighter, her spirit lighter. But the biggest shift was still to come. Because the next secret wasn't about sound or rhythm, it was about making decisions in the moment, with confidence, through something she called the one-touch rule. Secret number 6, the one-touch rule. Eudora had a habit that many of us share. She'd pick something up, a book, a piece of mail, or an old dish, and instead of deciding what to do with it, she'd move it to another spot. A new pile on the coffee table, a deal with later stack on the counter, or worse, a bag she promised to sort through someday. But someday never came, and the piles multiplied. That's when she made a new commitment to herself, the one-touch rule. Every item she touched had to be dealt with immediately. No second piles, no I'll do it later. It either went back where it belonged, into the donation box, or straight into the trash. One touch, one decision, one less piece of clutter weighing her down. At first, it was tough. Eudora admitted she felt resistance, especially when she opened her kitchen cabinet and found rows of chipped teacups she hadn't used in decades. Each one carried a memory, trips to Charleston, Savannah, even a gift from her late husband. For years, she told herself she couldn't possibly part with them. But this time was different. With the one-touch rule, she forced herself to decide. Holding a cracked cup in her hand, she whispered, "I've kept this for years, but it's not serving me anymore." Into the donation box it went. Then another, and another. By the time she finished that cabinet, half the space was free. She felt lighter, not just physically, but emotionally. She said, "I didn't realize how much power I was giving to things that no longer served me. Letting go gave me back control." The power of this secret is simple but life-changing. Research on decision-making shows that delaying choices actually increases stress and drains energy. For seniors, who may already feel overwhelmed by clutter, the deal with it later approach only feeds anxiety. The one-touch rule eliminates that cycle. One item, one decision, one moment of freedom. And here's the beauty. You don't need hours of energy to practice it. Even if you only touch 5 things a day, those 5 decisions add up. Over weeks, the ripple effect is enormous. And unlike traditional decluttering, which often leaves later piles haunting you, this rule creates immediate progress you can see and feel. So let me ask you, if you had to choose one item right now and make a decision, keep, donate, or toss, what would it be? Share it in the comments. Saying it out loud might just give you the courage to actually do it. For Eudora, the one-touch rule became more than a cleaning strategy, it became a philosophy. Every time she picked something up, she chose clarity over clutter. And as her cabinets, counters, and closets opened up, she discovered a sense of freedom she hadn't felt in years. And that freedom led her to her final secret. Because once the clutter was gone and the work was done, Eudora didn't just stop, she celebrated. And that ritual turned her cleaning day into a true transformation. Secret number 7. The end-of-day ritual. By the time evening settled in, Eudora stepped back and looked at her home with new eyes. The doorways were clear, the surfaces open, the clutter sorted and gone. For the first time in years, her space felt like a sanctuary instead of a burden. But instead of collapsing into bed, she honored the moment with what she called her end-of-day ritual. She lit her favorite lavender candle, the same scent she used during choir rehearsals to calm her nerves before performances. The gentle fragrance filled the room, blending with the quiet hum of a clean space. Then she brewed a pot of her best tea, this time choosing one of her prettiest teacups, not the chipped ones she had finally let go of. She sat in her armchair, sipped slowly, and let the weight of accomplishment wash over her. This was more than a pause. It was a celebration. Too often, we clean in frustration, only to overlook the peace that comes afterward. But by creating a ritual, a candle, a cup of tea, a quiet prayer, Eudora anchored her success in joy, not exhaustion. It reminded her that cleaning wasn't punishment. It was self-respect. The next morning, she did something she hadn't dared in months. She picked up the phone and invited 2 neighbors over for tea. She said, "It wasn't about showing off my house. It was about finally feeling proud enough to open my door again." And when those neighbors walked in, they didn't just notice a clean house, they noticed the glow in Eudora's face, the pride in her posture, and the warmth in her welcome. That's the heart of this secret. Cleaning fast isn't about rushing or chasing perfection. It's about reclaiming peace, dignity, and joy in your home. It's about creating a space that reflects who you are today, not the clutter of yesterday. And it's about giving yourself permission to celebrate progress, no matter how small. So here's my question for you. If you finished cleaning today, what would your end-of-day ritual be? Would it be lighting a candle, calling a friend, sitting with a cup of coffee, or simply taking a deep breath of gratitude? Share it in the comments. You might inspire someone else to create their own ritual of joy. Because in the end, cleaning isn't just about dust and clutter. It's about the freedom to open your doors, the courage to welcome others, and the gift of loving the space you call home. So, what can we take from Eudora's story? Her transformation didn't happen because she tried to power through a mountain of clutter in one exhausting day. It happened because she discovered 7 simple but powerful secrets, and she used them one step at a time. She started with the doorway decision, clearing the threshold so every room felt more welcoming. She kept her energy up with the 10-item sweep, turning mess into victories. She created instant calm by focusing on clear surfaces first. She saved her joints with the sit and sort method. She found joy in the music minute, letting gospel rhythms carry her forward. She stopped procrastinating with the one-touch rule, choosing action over delay. And finally, she honored her progress with the end-of-day ritual, reminding herself that cleaning is as much about dignity and joy as it is about dust and dishes. Eudora's home wasn't just clean, it was alive again. And more importantly, she felt alive again too. Now, I want you to ask yourself, which of these secrets will you try first? Drop it in the comments below. I'd love to hear your answer. And if Eudora's journey inspired you, hit that like button, tap subscribe, and share this video with a friend who deserves a fresh start in their home too. Oh, and before you go, don't miss our next video. We'll uncover 6 silent clutter traps that make seniors feel stuck without even realizing it. You'll be shocked at how common they are, and how freeing it feels once you spot them. Remember, your home should be a place of peace, not pressure. And every small step you take moves you closer to that freedom.